One of the most depressing stats you can hear as an overweight person, or someone who's just trying to lose some weight, is that 95% of people regain the weight plus more over 5 years. Because what the fuck do you mean I'm gonna spend the next 5 to 6 months focusing on my nutrition, exercising, hitting my steps, doing all of these crazy things to lose weight, and there's only a 5% chance that I ever keep it off? That is what I call a terrible fucking deal. And in my head, the 5% that actually kept it off were probably genetically gifted or had way quicker metabolisms than me, so there's literally nothing I could do. But after losing the weight and keeping it off for 5 fucking years, and helping a lot of people do the exact same, I have learned that people do not have a baseline weight that they always bounce back up to. There's no magical plateau of 73 kilos that people can't get past, or that there's no one who just can't lose weight. Now, I'm not saying genetics, situation, past experiences, all of these things play a massive role, but if people actually thought about how to keep the weight off instead of just weight loss, the stat would be far more favorable. But maintaining your weight does not sell, so nobody really talks about it, except for this guy. So if you want to lose weight and keep it off forever, don't worry, I got you. Because I'm about to go through 3 things that you have to ask yourself before starting your next weight loss journey, or if you're in the middle of a weight loss journey, ask yourself right now to make fucking sure that you actually keep the weight off for good. Number 1, how long can you actually keep this up? The biggest mistake I always made was thinking that I was just gonna crash diet or keto or cut out carbs or do the military diet down to my goal weight, and then I would figure out maintenance afterward. It was an afterthought, it wasn't a priority, and it wasn't something that I ever thought about, which kind of explains why I regained 30 kilos. But now I just want you to ask yourself, how many people do you know that have lost weight with an extreme diet, kept that weight off, but while also keeping that weight off, have gone on to live a normal life without those extreme diet rules? Not fucking many. Now keep that in mind when you look at starting your next diet. You need to simply ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like after I lose the weight? Because as much as we would both like to just go back to the way we were living before, that lifestyle was the reason we gained the weight. And if we just go back to that, we'll just regain the weight again. Because you still will need to exercise, you'll still have to have some control over your nutrition, and you'll still have to go for a couple of walks. You need to be clear on what you want your life to look like after the weight loss. Imagine yourself at your goal weight. What would your life look like? And then during the fat loss, you just up the intensity slightly less calories, slightly stricter diet, slightly more exercise, maybe slightly more cardio, slightly more steps. I know it can be hard to do this, and you can obviously change it down the road during the fat loss, but if you know what you're working towards, and if you know what you want your life to look like, it will make the journey so much easier, and then you'll actually have a plan to fall into after you finish. Secondly, you're gonna have to accept failure. You just are. You will have mini failures every day, every week, every month, and you have to not internalize them. Maybe you're gonna eat something and you're not gonna track it before, and it's gonna have way more calories than you expect. Maybe you'll miss a workout, or even maybe you'll miss your steps. It does not make you shit, and it does not mean that you're gonna be fat forever. It simply means that you messed up like everyone does. You need to actually become friends with failure, and more importantly, learn from it. You look at any of the people that I work with, down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds, I can probably tell you at least one massive failure that they've all had. Something that would usually rocket somebody completely off the fat loss journey. Like, I've had people go off track for weeks at a time, but do you know why they're now 80 pounds down and happy out, and you're still struggling with it? Because we accepted that there would actually be failure, and that's okay. But instead of hiding from the facts and giving up completely, I asked the simple question: if you could go back in time to before the failure happened, what would you do differently? We'll analyze it, we'll learn from it, and then next time something like that pops up, you'll know how to handle it a lot better. I know when I was younger, watching Biggest Loser and some of the motivational fat loss shows that were on, it made it seem that you would have to torture yourself to lose the weight, and that if you failed, you would be riddled with shame and you'd be fat forever. But I doubt you treat any other part of life like that. If you make a mistake at work, do you punch the boss in the face and quit? If you forget to indicate in the car, do you crash into a wall and give up driving forever? If you're going for a walk and you trip over, do you decide to become bedridden and never walk again? No, you learn that the ground may be a little bit slippy there, and you probably shouldn't walk there next time. Stop flogging yourself and shaming yourself expecting results, because it doesn't work. And thirdly, you will never just stay the same weight. I know a lot of people have been trying to sell you the idea of, if you just lose the weight once, everything will be effortless and you'll just stay the exact same weight. But your weight will always be fluctuating up and down. Your goal should be to pick a bracket of weight that you feel confident at, and then just fluctuate between that over time. I'll give you an example. So my anniversary is in November. Then I usually do a yearly trip to somewhere Christmas markets. Then Christmas. Then, fucking hell, my birthday. And over that period, if I was not in a calorie surplus and gained a little bit of weight, I would have done something wrong. Let's be honest. But because I picked a weight range that I was happy with, usually between about 80 and 85 kilos, I may be going into mid-January 85 kilos. And that's completely fine. I enjoyed myself for a couple months. Cool, I may have to start tracking calories, getting a bit tighter for 6 to 8 weeks, but I'm never more than 6 to 8 weeks away from the lowest point of my comfortable range. On most years, I'm only tracking calories for 6 to 8 weeks, and then I live a reasonably healthy lifestyle other than that. Nothing crazy, and I think that should be the goal for everybody. Now, if you are genuinely serious about making this fat loss that you're about to start or in the middle of, the last one that you ever make, I'm gonna be honest, I am about to tell you about my program. But I have another round of I Got You in 6 starting up on May the 10th. Now, what is I Got You in 6? It's the most affordable way of working with me. It is completely ran by me, like most of this shit you see. And it's a 6-week fat loss program where I'll help you obviously lose weight over the 6 weeks, go much more in depth about losing weight and maintaining it long term, and it's only 99 quid. The average person loses between 4 and 6 kilos over the 6 weeks, but again, we're focused on long term, and here are just some of the people who have seen long-term success from it. Now, if you want any more details, the last 2 launches have completely sold out. We only have 35 spaces because you're actually working with me. So if you want any more information at all or access to the spaces when they go live, you have to click the top link in the description, jot in your emails. I'll email you over how everything works. And when spaces go live on the 1st of May, you'll get the discounted price of the €99 and you'll get first bid on the spots. And if you have no interest in that, you can always just hit the subscribe because I got you.